Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have the third and final rematch against a 2017 CBR1000RR with an exhaust and a tune. We officially put on a Catalyst Spark exhaust, a full titanium system on the BMW S1000RR M, and we went with a BT Moto Stage 1 Flash. So, to check out the comparisons on how much faster the bike got, we decided to race against a Honda once again. I will include clips of the past races. The first race you'll see is the BMW versus the Honda during the break-in tune, limited at 9,000 RPM and 40% throttle registration. Then I'll include a clip from the best race we got when the BMW was on completely stock hardware and stock tune post break-in. And then finally we will start with the two races we managed to get with the BT Moto Stage 1 Flash and the full exhaust. So now it is apples to oranges, and actually apples to apples, what am I saying? His bike tuned with an exhaust, my bike tuned with the exhaust. And the races went just as planned, but we'll discuss that at the end. Speak to y'all shortly. But just remember, first race you'll see is the break-in race while my bike was breaking in against him. Then on completely stock hardware and stock tune. And then the third and fourth race will be on BT Moto Stage 1 Flash. Apples to apples. Let's go, boys. Just as predicted, the BT Moto Stage 1 tune increased power across the entire rev range. and I felt a big difference to how it ran stock. But then again, it wasn't a world of a difference. I believe this bike completely stock ran already very fast. But the results did show a massive difference. And I made sure to let him start first every single time, get the hit every single time, and I didn't even bother starting in first gear. If we started in first gear, I would have been a completely different city district than him, so I wanted him to get the hit and for me to start in a lower gear, and so the start looked remotely good. If I started appropriately in first gear, it wouldn't have been a race. The wheelie control in this is so good that, believe me, I would have just fucking taken off and we wouldn't have been side by side at any point. It would have just been pure annihilation. And while on the stock tune, I was very diligent about starting on the right gear. But either way, even with the advantages I gave the Honda, if you analyze the stock race versus the BT Moto Stage 1 and exhaust, I pulled them so hard and so fast across the entire power band, and we got up to 6th gear, and by 6th gear I physically could not see him anywhere near me. I'm talking about football fields, just as I predicted. The type of beatdown only a leader bike gives a 600. It was complete and utter annihilation. And sell your bike status in my book. And again, modern day super bikes are just fucking insane. And the exhaust system is the best in its class, and the bike still has so much room to grow. We still don't have the induction kit, we still don't have E85. There's still more room for this bike to grow. And I can also say that my shifting, finding the perfect gear to, not the gear, but the perfect rev range to shift, needs some work on my part. Some driver skill can still be obtained. I feel like there is a skill gap between what I will be in a couple months. And I found myself shifting way too soon. The bike can rev to 14,600 RPM, and I was shifting it around 14,000, which was taking me out of the power band I wanted to be. So, I'll definitely have to adjust my shift light, but whenever I tuned the bike, all my electronics kind of were like reset back to factory. So I had to go back through and modify my riding modes and everything. Everything's been fucked. It's basically been taken back to factory settings because of the flash. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have many videos to come. I now get why they call the spark exhaust spark, because it's the only exhaust I've seen that actually shoots spark and flames out of the tailpipe. I literally saw sparks flying out of it. That's fucking crazy, dude. My Project SC on the R1M never did that. It did shoot bigger flames, I felt like. The R1M was shooting big ass flames, but it never shot out sparks. It was a great race. I may do a fourth one once I get the induction kit and the E85 file, because at that point the bike theoretically should be about 220 wheel horsepower, and with that file I'm definitely going to increase the RPM limit. Instead of 14,600, I'll probably take it to 15k, and just because the bike is actually making power past 14 and carrying it better. It's better for the power band, and the torque doesn't fall off very hard at all. Torque's actually fucking, like, it's not like the Honda. If you look at the graph, this graphs win races, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't all about peak power and peak torque. It's average power and average torque over time. And the bike is just so linear. It's just, man, I don't know what to say. The bike is so good. But 6th gear, I gotta tell you, 6th gear felt quite disappointing. But it also was because I short shifted 5th gear. I should have stayed in 5th a little bit longer. 5th gear rides out to about 180. And I shifted 5th gear around 170. Which fucked me, because I felt like when I shifted into 6th gear, I wasn't in the power band. I was looking down, I'm like, what? I feel like I'm going way slower than I should be going. And 6th gear felt extremely weak, and it's because of the importance of having to rev out your bike. You have to rev this out, and if you don't rev it out, you're gonna fall out of the power band. You know, I did a couple of tests comparing my R1M to this bike, and it's a back and forth fight, man. I might make a video on that because the only thing I have is dashboard clips of the speedometer, and it seems like this bike on completely stock hardware beat the R1M up to around 154 miles per hour, but after that the R1M seemed to have bigger top range. It's quite weird. There's so many differences between the videos. On one video I weighed around 170, on the other video I weighed 200. One day was a cooler day during this runs. It was like almost 90-degree weather. It's just like it's not apples to apples, so it's very hard to tell. And again, the R1M wasn't a slouch neither, but I'll be amazed if the R1M was faster top end. Like I said, it's just the kind of thing that I keep trying to compare the bikes, but there's no real way to compare it without draggy numbers and data that is just irrefutable. And I would have loved to have raced these bikes side by side. It would have been one hell of a race. Like, I wish I could duplicate my ass, Danny Phantom, fucking create another clone of myself type shit, and real race myself right now, same weather, same fucking conditions, and see what would happen. I still genuinely believe the BMW's on another level, but fuck, dude, on some videos the BMW seems to beat it out of the water, but then on other videos the R1M seems to beat it. It's just like I have no concrete data to compare. All I can go on is dyno numbers, average dyno over average horsepower over time, average torque over time. That's the only empirical data I have at this point in time. And if we go by the data, it's a clear and utter winner for the BMW. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm rambling. We shall see y'all next time.